This podcast is sponsored by Highclere Castle Gin, born from a castle, renowned for its parties and acclaimed for its taste. Highclere Castle Gin is the winner of over 200 international spirit awards with a triumphant 100-point score. Pick up a bottle for yourself at highclarecastlegin.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Spoiler TV podcast, your go-to podcast for all things TV. I'm Christina and I'm here with my co-hosts Jessica and Susanna. It's been a huge week in TV. Seems like finales, premieres, renewals, cancellations, definitely sparking some feelings all across the board. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm just trying to keep up with all these new shows coming out. I feel like there's so many all at once. And normally I'm like, yes, bring it on. But now that I'm a mom, it's so hard to keep up with
Yeah.
everything. I'm like trying
Mhm.
to do it all before bed because I need to know what's going on and I hate spoilers. Like I need to watch it live. So
Right.
yeah, but I'm not complaining because I love TV. So
Susanna?
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming out or just started yesterday, so I'm really excited about that. So
Yeah. So the big one this week that everyone was waiting for was the Superman and Lois. It's the final season, season 4, and the premiere was wild. So it dropped Monday, and people are losing it over it. So basically, I'm going to start by saying I'm sad it's the last season. People are sad it's the last season. Um, Anyway, let's jump into what took place during the two-part season premiere. So it was called The End and the Beginning, and there's a huge spoiler alert warning here. So for people who haven't seen it yet that are planning to see it probably should skip this part. But wow, talk about an intense way to kick off the final season. They actually went all in and killed Superman in the first episode. He died. So I did not see that coming. I don't think anybody did. Yeah, it was Clark had an epic battle with Doomsday and it was pretty brutal and in the end Superman died. So,
actually, that happened in the comics. So
yeah.
they're staying very close to the comics because he ended up dying in the hands of Doomsday. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that the series is sticking to a little bit of the comics because I feel like sometimes if you put a comic book into a TV show, they tend to like go off on their own tangent.
yeah,
But it's nice to see that this has stayed kind of near the comic book.
right.
But now that they've lost Clark, I don't know how they're going to figure out how to move forward without him. So, like, especially to do it in the right at the beginning. So
Yeah.
now they have to figure out through the whole season how that's going to affect them.
The issue is it's like there's still 9 up or I guess 8 now because it was a two-part season finale, but 8
Yeah.
episodes. So what's going to happen in 8 episodes? I think that's the big question. So of
Yeah.
course, we've got Lex Luthor lurking in the background and he's making things complicated. He's ramping up his revenge plot against Lois and basically blaming her for the time he spent in prison. He's literally bought the hotel across from her newspaper, the Smallville Gazette, so he can keep tabs on her, which is super creepy.
That is creepy.
And he's always been sort of off, but he's really unhinged this season. And he basically forces Lois into an impossible situation and he makes her choose between her kids' lives. But luckily they both survived. But like thinking about that psychological toll as a mother, um, pretty crazy. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, he also knows Jordan's identity as Superboy,
yeah,
so that puts the family in a whole bunch of danger.
yeah,
Um, but in at the end of the episode, you've got Lois standing there in between Clark's body and the hotel Lex now owns.
yeah.
So it's gonna definitely be an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, and 8 episodes left. Like I said, they're pulling out all the stops, but this premiere certainly set it up to be a very emotional season. And I just can't wait to see. I do you see a Superboy spinoff maybe in the future? It's hard to say because the CW does not seem to want to be producing its own scripted series anymore. So,
Well, yeah, and Supergirl didn't that get canceled?
yeah,
So I don't know
good.
if I think this might be their hurrah to the Superman world. We'll
Yeah.
see.
I think on a different network it might have been possible, but the CW is
Yeah.
really, really moving towards purchasing shows that have already been produced outside of the United States. So hard to say.
Money
Yeah.
talks.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on and switch it up now and talk about something that's a little bit different, but certainly got lots of drama, right, Jessica? Love is Blind season
yes.
7. Pretty
Yeah,
wild, I'm
I've
assuming.
been binging that all week. That's been my show. I think the second part came out this week. I might be wrong on the dates, but yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah. So I know that it's always crazy and there's for me like the formula to me is insane, but somehow it works. And I know there's still a couple even from the first season that's still together. So but it's hard to tell. Can you predict if anyone's gonna make it at this point?
I have a few things I want to get into,
Do it.
but I think that shows like this only work in like the first and second season.
Yeah.
As you keep going on, a lot of these people are coming on for fame, right? Especially with like the whole influencer thing being so huge and how much some of these people get paid for like one ad. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
most of these people are coming on now, I think, for fame.
Ugh.
So it's very hard. And I've just been reading a ton about how people are a little bit disappointed in how terribly the show is vetted. Um, Things that are coming out, it's like, how did you not know that before putting this person on the show? If you're like one of the cast members said they do like 12-part interviews. So in 12 interviews, you didn't ask these kinds of questions, or like, especially social media. That's the big thing that people are constantly digging into once these people get on these shows, so they go and they find things and then they bring it up and it just becomes a mess. But I still love the show. I love the drama. I'm here for it. I just wish that they've edited a little better and maybe some of the more serious couples would be moved to Mexico, but I get it. They want the drama, so they pick the couples they think are going to be the best, which is surprising to me. So I'm going to get into like my couple theories. I have just a few words for each. So
Sounds
Leo
good.
and Brittany,
Okay.
we watched their story the whole time in the pods. Then it's time for them to go to Mexico. They don't take them to Mexico.
What?
You're probably the most materialistic couple. Like, she wants a man to take care of her, and
God.
like she just stays home, gets her nails done, gets her hair done,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
he is this rich art dealer, and he's like, I don't want somebody to want me for my money, but he wants to take care of a woman.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, they didn't bring him to Mexico, and they probably would have been the most drama, honestly.
Yeah. Sounds
Wonder
like
what
it.
the decision behind that was.
There's like so many rumors. I don't even want to get into it because a lot of it are like, maybe domestic violence he might have done and
Oh,
things like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Heavy.
but I don't think it's something he's done in his past. I think it was something that they may have been worried about. I'm not too sure. This is things that are coming out on TikTok, so believe it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So that was the couple that I was shocked they didn't bring, especially because I feel like nowadays they're just putting these people on for drama.
Yeah.
My favorite couple is obviously the most boring one. I love them so much. I was worried for a bit there because in the pods, she didn't want to say her mother's name because it would pretty much show what her ethnicity was. And she didn't want him to know at all anything about what she looked like.
Wow.
And he was like, he felt that it was her being calculated. Anyways, they got over the hump. They got engaged and now they're living together. And the only reason I think these two may not stay together is because she wants him to move to San Diego. Moving his whole life away from his family. Like, that's a lot to ask.
Where is he? Where does he live?
They're all in DC.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's
like across the country.
That's what he says. It's not like a quick flight. Like, it's far away.
Yeah.
And I guess her whole family's from San Diego. She really is in DC because of work, but she kind of goes back and forth. But I could see that being a very big issue going forward.
Yeah.
And then we have Nick, Dee, and Hannah, who are not going to make it. I can guarantee you. In the pods, she was so worried the whole time because he said he was like a football guy. He played professional football. So she thought he was going to be this like super good looking, big football guy. And so she was constantly saying like, you don't want me, like, you're not going to like me once you see what I am. And like, and then the second she saw him, the flip switched. And I feel like she completely changed her attitude. Like, it was like a whole new person.
Oh boy.
And so I feel like she was like way more mean to him. It was like she thought she was like better than him. I mean, the guy can't cook. The guy can't clean. She
Okay.
asked him to like boil pasta noodles, and he was like, "How do you do that?" And I understand that's so frustrating,
That
but
could
like,
be
let's
fun.
not be mean. Like, let's maybe teach him, you
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
hey,
I don't
just
think that's a deal
fill the pot
breaker.
up halfway. No, like
Yeah,
fill the pot up halfway, let the water boil, stick the pasta, you know,
that's
it's
right.
not that big of a deal.
No.
But he makes everything seem like it's such a big deal.
Oh God.
Don't think these two will make it.
Yeah. Doesn't
And
sound like
then,
it.
yeah. And then you have Ramses and Marissa, who at first I loved them so much. I'm like, these two match perfectly. And then they started having disagreements. They had a disagreement about her time in the military and what she kind of believed occurred or occurs currently. And I was like, you know what? Maybe they can get over this, but we will see. And then I changed my mind. I believe it was the last episode that has been posted, but he decided that she asked him if she could get off birth control. And he said he doesn't believe in sex with condoms.
Oh God.
So she should be on birth control.
Oh God.
They're not going to make it.
No,
I can
God, no.
guarantee you. At first, I thought this would probably be our only couple. I don't think so anymore.
Oh
Okay.
God.
And then we have Tim and Alexandra. Again, another super boring couple. Tim hates fighting, doesn't want to have disagreements, so kind of like walks away, doesn't want to deal with things. But they're so boring that I love them. You know, they seem the most realistic. I think their only hurdle is going to be he needs to realize that couples get in disagreements, and you just have to learn how to navigate those disagreements. Nobody's
Right.
saying you need shouting matches, and you know, you can talk through your disagreements, and it's okay
Absolutely.
to have disagreements. You
Yeah.
know, you can't sweep them under the rug. It'll just get worse in the end. But
Yeah.
I have high hopes for these two. I think it might work.
Okay.
Then we have Stephen and Monica, another couple that I thought, you know, maybe they will make it. I don't know. I almost kind of feel like she was trying too hard to try to make it work. The cliffhanger we were left on with these two. He went to a sleep study
Sure he
Oh
did.
God.
Sure he did.
and got drunk. Who gets
At a
drunk
sleep
at a
study?
They usually lock you in a room, so I doubt that.
So he got drunk at a sleep study and he started texting another woman
Oh
sexual
my
things
Lord.
while
Oh
he was
no.
engaged to Monica. Monica did
That's
not
terrible.
deserve this at all. She found it accidentally. Thank goodness she found it because she may have gone to the altar. And I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what happens, but I don't think they do. And also Queen Energy, her asking him to Venmo her money for carrying him on her back for the last few weeks. Loved it. I'm like, yes, Queen.
Oh my God, that's
Love
so
that.
funny.
Love
And then
that.
the whole reason I think the vetting needs to be better, Tyler and Ashley. This was going to be America's favorite couple
Okay.
until everything that has started coming out.
Oh crud.
It is a mess.
Yeah.
This man talked to this woman about having babies, she said, pretty much every single day since the pods. Never mentioned once that he has not one child, 3 children. 3 children who he's calling his sperm babies.
Oh my God.
And told her he spent Christmas by himself and you know he's not involved in these kids' lives. Let me tell you something. This man was spending Christmas with these children.
How disgusting.
Yeah. And so the show also ended on a little cliffhanger with them
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
And so we'll kind of see what happens. Is she going to stay with him? Is she going to say this is a deal breaker for him? Will it come out that they aren't sperm babies? I'm not quite
God.
sure, but I'm interested to see.
Me too.
And I'm just really upset because, like I said, this would have been like, you know, season 1 had tons of couples come out of it that people loved, still love. I believe Barnett.
Yes. They're
They
having a
were from season
baby.
1, right? And they're
Yeah.
having a baby,
And
you know?
Amber. Yeah.
Yeah, Amber.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and so I think so many favorites came out of that season.
Yeah.
And I thought this might have been the couple, but I don't think they're going to be. I think
Oh
it's going to
gosh,
be
that's
super
a
messy.
that's
The
a
next,
deal breaker right there. Yeah.
and I think the next episodes come out on the 16th or the 17th, one of
Yeah.
the two. Super excited to see what kind of plays out. But yeah, I don't know that she will stay. So
Wow.
interesting to see.
How do you like?
Oh,
So they used to drop all the episodes all at once, and they don't anymore. What do you think about that?
It's so hard because for me, it's easier for me to keep up with one episode a week,
Right.
but I hate waiting,
That's
especially
right.
when they leave you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, so this ended, and I'm like, that was the last episode? I have to wait. Like, and the other thing they always do, Love is Blind, is they, like, this next few episodes will drop. I don't know if they'll drop the wedding episode. That might be a completely separate
Oh,
drop.
yes,
And I hate
right.
that they do that. I
Right.
hate that because I'm
Yeah.
like, we just want to finish it up at this
Oh,
point.
of
If you're going to
course.
drop in
Just
chunks, like
do it.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
drop it. Like
It's
let us
also
all
a
binge.
streamer for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like,
So
geez, you have
frustrating,
the
but
ability to drop it. Drop it.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's called bringing people back.
for
That's
sure.
or do you lose some people along the way? I don't know.
Right.
Oh,
Hard to
true,
say.
true.
Hard to say.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to see what
Oh,
happens. So
so
let's
much
go.
drama. Well, you'll have to keep us posted next time
Oh,
on
I will.
what
I
happened
will.
there.
Especially once we get to the altar episode. I really am interested to see who's going to make it because right now I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sounds like a gong show, really.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna leave reality TV for a little bit and head into another Netflix hit. Outer Banks returned this week for part one of season four. And before we get into that, people are really starting to question this whole drop part one, drop part two.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're trying to give people like a little bit of that whole network feel where you have to wait a little bit, but then at the same time, like the whole reason, the whole premise of Netflix was to so people
Yeah.
could binge,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about this, but I gotta say, I was really skeptical for season four because Jessica and her sister actually got me into Outer Banks when I was there visiting, and I then started to really love it. But then season three did not hook me. Like it just,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just wasn't. Something was missing. It was off. It wasn't like it normally was. And so I wasn't really expecting much for season four, but as soon as that first episode hit, I was hooked because it went back to basics, which is, their themes of friendship, loyalty, the found family, all the things that brought it success at the beginning is breathing new life into it. And that's what I really love about season four so far.
Yeah, what I love is they finally are filming in North Carolina, not
Yeah.
necessarily in the Outer Banks, but in Wilmington. But
Right.
Carolinians, I will tell you, we're making a lot of fun of them filming in South Carolina because if you live out here, you know that's Charleston, you know that's like not here.
Yeah.
Also the ferry to Chapel Hill, that doesn't exist and all that all that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited that they're filming it here and that now you get to see what the landscape is actually really like. Wilmington landscape is similar to OBX. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I have to wonder too. I mean, they film in OBX, they film movies in the like I wonder if it's a budget thing and it probably is, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna base a show, your title of your show is the place.
Mhm.
You should film in the place.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I agree. I
But
agree. I mean, that's the whole concept here. If I've gone down the rabbit hole of looking up comments when, our local TV station posts on Facebook that it's coming out or when it first came out. And it was hilarious, the comments that we're getting back.
oh, I bet.
But yeah, I feel like they could have done a little more of a better job with the historical things too, like looking up there's no ferry, stuff like that. It
Yeah.
was kind of like not right. But I feel like now that they are filming, well, it's closer. I mean, it's not necessarily there. I mean, it is a budget thing. It is a very expensive place. I mean, hurricanes hit everywhere, but
And
they
it's
do get a
hard to
lot of
get
bad
to.
weather.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
it is
hard to
hard
get
to
to,
get.
but it's not
No, but
easy. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, there's only two roads in, right?
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
and it is very, very busy during the summer when they film because it is a very big tourist mecca. So maybe that has something to do with it too as well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that's going to make a huge difference, I feel. But like you said, last season, I always was super excited to sit down and turn it on, but last season I felt like I had to just to finish it off.
I
Like I
know.
just didn't feel really excited about having to see the next episode. It was just more curiosity than anything. So I'm really looking forward to after that first episode what the season's gonna hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
And
husband
yeah,
hated season 3. He was like, it just
Yeah.
feels so fake.
hear ya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, obviously this is fake, or maybe it's real. I don't know. But
Last season was fake. It was not
yeah,
based on anything
yeah,
real. Yeah.
it didn't seem right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I also think maybe, you know, again, shows having couples like with this chemistry and the two main characters breaking up, like could that have been a little bit of why we were
Oh
seeing
yeah.
the connection
Yeah.
and things like that? But yeah, I've only watched episode 1, but so far so good. I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying it. Back to the basics, but oh man, are they showing their age, these kids?
I
Like,
know.
how
I
do you spend
know.
that kind of money the way you're spending it? And
Oh, I know. It's
JJ,
that's
And
what I figured.
JJ. Oh
Yeah.
my
Well,
God.
what do you expect from JJ? Look at his upbringing.
I
So he
know.
finally got
Well,
money.
I know, but at the same time, it's like it's hard. He's so likable. It's really hard to get
Yes.
so angry at him. And the thing
Yeah.
that I love that people that love Kiara with JJ love is that she lets him be who he is
Yeah.
Yeah,
and doesn't hold it against him.
no,
And yeah, she's mad and yeah, she's disappointed just like everybody else, but there's an understanding that this is
Yeah.
JJ, right?
for
And
sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, he never had anything his whole entire life.
that's
I mean,
right.
you saw it, and
Yeah.
now he's finally got something. So, I mean, that's just how he's going to do it. So,
And the whole the thing was the big bulk of the money was spent on getting back his property, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And
where
he
he kind
wanted
of
that.
and I'm sure he wanted it. First off, he has bad memories there, and
Yeah.
maybe some good ones, but I think he wanted to create like whole new memories with
Yeah.
his chosen family. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
what
Yeah.
I
And
think.
so to him, it was important that he got that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh man,
I don't know.
33% over asking.
Yeah,
It was
that was
pretty
just
ridiculous. And
crazy.
Pope, the voice of wisdom,
Yeah.
oh man, I thought he was gonna lose it. But yeah, again, there's that understanding too. Yeah, he's super frustrated and mad, but this is JJ, right?
For
And
Yeah,
sure.
they've known him his whole life.
that's
So, I
right.
mean, they're not going to change him now. They're going
That's
to
right.
just expect it, honestly.
And like, there's that kind of expectation that John B talked to him. And even when he's doing that dirt bike race, like talk him out of it. There's no talking him out of it. It's either I help him and we win or
Oh,
not.
and talk him
Like
out of
Yeah.
it. He already bet all that
he already
stuff.
bet the money. It
It
Yeah,
was
was
he
too
too
can't
late.
late.
talk him out of it.
What
Yeah.
are you
You can't
doing?
talk him out of it. It would have
Yeah.
had to be prior to, like,
Yeah.
and that's why he didn't tell them
Yeah.
or tell John B, because he wasn't going to tell anybody else. That's why he didn't tell John B until the very end.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, wow.
But I feel like if they made JJ anybody else this season, I don't think it would have. I mean, that's who he is.
That
Like,
is.
I don't think you can get him a whole bunch of money and then all of a sudden he's being like meticulous on how he spends it. Like, I
And he
think that
doesn't,
that would have
yeah.
lost a lot of the viewers too, that because everyone's like has this, like you said, he's so likable, you feel bad for him and you just want him to be able to enjoy himself?
And like honestly, a kid like JJ, do you think he really cares that that money was being saved for property taxes?
Nope.
No. Pope, Mr. Sensible, of course,
Yes.
but JJ, no.
Yeah, but he's also miles and miles ahead of him when it comes to maturity. So
For sure.
Maturity, yeah, everything, yeah.
yeah,
But speaking of the couples, people are really loving, the JJ Kiara relationship, blossoming. And I think it's really awesome that John B and Sarah, they still like, even though Chase and Madeline are not together anymore, they're very professional. They still have the good chemistry. And and yeah, and the thing about them is finally in this place where they can just be together and not have all these issues thrown in their way, which I really like. So,
well, I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true that Madeline wants out after this season. Have you heard
mm,
that?
I've not,
I
but
mean,
it
I
could
could see
be.
how. I mean, I could see how difficult it would be though. Like you guys were dating, now you're not. You're both in different relationships, and you still have to like be a couple. It might be. I don't know. I heard that. I don't know if it's true. Could just
I
be like a rumor.
could be, but I think with streamers too, they take so long to film in between seasons that even though it's season 4, for these people, it's like 8 years almost,
Oh, I
right?
know. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
probably
They
want
want
to
to
move
move on to other
on. That's
projects.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
tied here, right? So
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
say. It'll be interesting to see if it gets renewed past. Netflix, we'll talk about that in a bit, is not, yeah, looking for that. So, The one thing I do really love about the season is that they're back to treasure hunting, but this time it's actually attached to North Carolina's actual pirate history with Blackbeard, which I think is really cool. It makes it feel more real and not just some random big adventure that they are going on for the purpose of creating drama. And I think there's going to be, it ended in a big cliffhanger. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but people are really waiting for part two. But um, so I visited North Carolina in July and we went on a ghost tour and we got to see some of Blackbeard's stomping grounds. So for me, that was actually really a really cool connection. So yeah,
Yeah.
it hooked me in even more, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it totally makes a difference. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like as somebody living here, I'm more excited about watching the season because they are putting in more history about it. So,
Yeah.
and like you said, it's named OBX for a reason. So, I mean,
Yeah.
let's
But
do something that's from here. But yeah,
yeah.
no, I feel like this season I actually can sit down and be happy to watch it and not just because I want to continue and to find out what happens. So,
Yeah, and I actually binged the first five, which I normally, you know, last season it took me forever to get through it. This one I was like, oh, I couldn't wait to get to the next episode. So
Oh, that makes me excited. I
yes,
can't
I'm
wait.
yeah,
happy to have that feeling back for sure.
yeah, no kidding.
But so a couple other new dramas premiered this week. So Accused on Fox is back for season two. This one took a long time to come back because it didn't come back after the strike like it was supposed to. And so they bumped season two so they could give it a full season this round, which is fine. It's underrated for sure. It's an anthology, so every episode is a different story, which is different than most TV network dramas, and it digs into really important stories that are real life and make you really think. So it's a good series, and it was a good premiere too. So
Yeah, I stopped watching. Like I watched all of season one, and then I think maybe there's been two episodes, maybe three. I'm not sure, but I was like, I as much as I love it, I love get the connections to characters, and that's the
yeah,
reason I watch the shows. But being in the legal field, I obviously love it, and I just thought something was going to happen where at the end they would all come back, to kind of, I don't know, bring it all together. But I
right.
get it; each episode is different. Um, but I'm now going to go back and watch because I forgot how much I truly did love that. Like,
Yeah,
so same thing as watching Suits or
right.
I
Yeah.
think it's The Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah,
There's
The
a
Lincoln Lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
I've
coming
never
back this
watched
month too.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the 17th, I believe.
that's correct.
I want to get into that one. I think there's this is the third season
Third
coming
season
out. So I'm
coming up.
gonna try
Yeah,
to
you're
binge
not
some of
too
them.
far behind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love law shows. They're
yeah.
so good. And if they do it right, oh,
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah.
Watch the movie before you watch the show.
Oh,
The
it's a
Lincoln
movie.
Lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. You have to watch the
It's so
movie.
good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
with Matthew McConaughey and Ryan Phillippe.
yeah,
I
Wow.
think that'll help pose what he does for a living
yeah,
Okay.
and why he does law out of his
yeah.
LinkedIn versus an office.
That's so cool. Okay, I'll definitely watch that first before I
Super
watch the
good.
show, but
Yeah.
super excited.
And the other was The Irrational came back to NBC. And again, this one took a while to premiere. So it's good. People are pretty excited for it. So this is a behavioral scientist. This is a very different blend of TV show. And it's like he has to solve a puzzle every case. And that's got you going, what? And he's kind of got this whole Sherlock vibe where he can kind of see what nobody else can see. So it's got like those mind games, psychology, crime solving. So if you like figuring out what makes people tick, this is the go-to show for that. So that was a big one that came up on NBC this week. And
Yeah, it
uh,
reminds me of Criminal Minds, they were
yeah,
behavioral
totally.
scientists
Yes.
too.
Yeah,
So that had a huge following.
it still does.
Everyone
Yeah.
was so disappointed when it ended. So this kind of fills in the gap.
Yeah. So this is one that I'm planning on getting into for sure. So hopefully I can get around to catching up so I can be on par for episode 2 next week. So. And on to some Netflix news as promised. So lots of Netflix news this week. So the good news is that Nobody Wants This is officially renewed for season 2, even though it has different showrunners. So that had to happen. That had to happen. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
So
why new
so happy.
showrunners?
huge rating. Aaron Foster's just ready to pass on the
Move
baton.
on.
So yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think they're gonna keep it to its core. All the major actors are coming back, so
That's good.
I think it'll be be just as good, hopefully, if not better.
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried either. Like,
I
not one
trust it.
bit.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
People
so
are
good.
just so excited it's coming back that they
Yes.
don't care who's behind the pencil, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes new showrunners can shake things up, but I really have to say I don't see that happening with this one. They know that this has worked.
Yeah.
To mess with that.
I was going to say they're not going to go and change something too dramatically when
Right.
this show just like came out of nowhere and shot right up, like
Yeah.
who would have known it was going to do that?
Nobody.
And it did. So why
Nobody.
change something that's not broken,
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Let's leave it.
Yeah. And in a shocking move for Netflix is that they renewed The Diplomat for a third season ahead of the season 2 premiere, which premieres on Halloween. That's a great show with Kerry Russell. And
Yeah.
Allison Janney's going to be in it this season, so it's got lots of potential. And I think they're, hoping for that star power to kind of propel it forward. And it's always had really good ratings, but Netflix being Netflix, there's also some cancellations. And one of the things that Netflix is doing lately is dropping shows after one season. So Chaos came out. It's a show that's based on Greek mythology, and people loved it and are super shocked and upset. And even the actors released a statement about how shocked and upset they were that it was.
Well, there's like A-list actors in that show.
There
Like
is.
that's really shocking to me.
Yeah, it was shocking. And then the other one was Rob Lowe drama with his son is in it as well, Unstable,
Yeah.
canceled after 2 seasons. So I just feel like Netflix is not giving these shows enough time to
Mhm.
find their footing and earn an audience. Like, I don't know what their formula is for canceling, but I saw a meme on Twitter that may have me howling, and I actually retweeted it because it was so funny. But it was something like Apple TV ends a season with the promo for next season, where Netflix
Yeah.
just cancels a show after one season. It's true. Like, you just
I know it is. Yeah.
and you got to watch new Netflix shows with a grain of salt, because the chances of it coming back are, unless it's
That's
getting
why I kind of wait. I
yeah,
wait now. I
yeah,
don't even get into a first season of something because I don't know if it's going to get canceled. So if they've started season 2, then I'll go on to season 1. But it's like we were talking about last week. If they don't know they're going to get canceled, then they end up with a major cliffhanger and you don't know the ending. So what's the point?
yeah, pretty disappointing. So every week it's like, what's Netflix going to cancel next? So I guess we'll find out if they cancel anything else on this week coming up. So
Which is
Yeah.
interesting though, because they have picked up canceled shows from other networks.
yes, like
Yeah.
Manifest. And people are hoping, the Station 19 fans are hoping that they'll pick up Station 19. And part of me is like, you don't want them to.
No.
And I don't know if they will, because that's like Touch and Shonda stuff.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think that's
yeah.
ever going to happen. They have a good
I don't think
relationship
so
with
too.
her. I
Yeah,
just
if
don't
it was
see
like
that
a
happening.
smaller show or a one-off
Yeah.
show that wasn't attached to multiple shows, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think so, because they'd also have to have contracts, because some of the characters are on Grey's and Station
That's right.
19, and I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
you
a
can do it on
big
two
thing.
networks.
I don't think it can work, but it's hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and moving on, a big one coming premiering is Tracker. Premieres, and it's going to be really good. Justin Hartley is amazing, and the season 1 just dominated the ratings charts. I can just imagine season 2 is going to do the same. I don't want to spoil too much, because I know people are probably still going to watch it, so we'll discuss Tracker next week, after people have had a chance to watch the season premiere. But in other TV news, Abbott Elementary, everyone's favorite comedy, is back. So me as a teacher, this one's hilarious. I don't know. Public school in the US is obviously very different than public school in Canada, but this was funny. So it premiered and it was hilarious. So a new golf course is being developed by the school. So it's causing some issues with electricity and water at the school. But the funny part is, all these golf families are now moving in, and they're white. So
Yeah.
there was a scene where the principal walks by the office and sees a white boy sitting there. She runs into the staff room. I saw a ghost. I saw a ghost. And they
Oh my
all
God.
come to the office, and then, oh my God, they're multiplying, because then the parents were standing there too. And this white family was like, oh, we're looking for the principal. We're so excited to be here. People told us to go private, but we're all about public education. And she had to like kind of put her tail between her legs and welcome them. And It was just
Oh,
because
that's so funny.
they've never had a white kid in that area of Philly, right? So,
Yeah.
but this is only this show can pull this stuff off. Like
Yeah.
it's absolutely hilarious. So great first episode there. And the will they won't they tension between Janine and Gregory is still alive and well, which is making fans pretty happy. So this week coming up though, we've got some big names returning. So the NCIS fans, your NCIS original is back, and new series NCIS Origins is starting up. CBS hits Ghosts and Elspeth are also premiering. I'm bitter about that. It should have been So Help Me Todd and not Elspeth premiering this week, but
Yeah.
I'll get over it. No offense to the Elspeth fans, but and then the new Young Sheldon spinoff, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, is also premiering this weekend. I'm sure that one will do well because they all seem to, and people just love the characters so much. And then Friday has a huge lineup. We've got Blue Buds season 14 returning, and it's done after this. Fire Country, huge hit coming back for CBS and SWAT coming back for CBS.
Yeah.
Another one that I'm kind of bitter about because it was canceled and then it got revived and then So Help Me Todd got canceled on the network. So
Well,
not too
there's been a whole
about
thing with
that.
SWAT for like years about it getting on the chopping block. The fans help bring it back. And,
Yeah,
um, I follow Shamar Moore on Instagram and that's all he talks about. So,
yeah,
it's very interesting how that all transpired.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Star power money, who knows, right?
Yeah.
And then NBC's hoping to lure people in for a Friday comedy hour featuring their hit Lopez versus Lopez with George Lopez and his daughter. And then there's a new comedy premiering with Reba McEntire and Melissa Peterman, Happy's Place. And they're bringing in some Reba characters. So I think that one's going to do.
Oh, I'm excited for it. If you've watched the trailer, she's hilarious and I
Yeah,
love it. Every time you watch, like I watched her show Reba and it was hilarious and I
yeah,
feel like she's just so naturally funny.
yeah,
I in one of the trailers the girl's like, "Oh, you're old enough to be my mom," and that's her new sister.
yeah.
She goes, "No, in Tennessee I'm old enough to be your great grandma." Like so she plays on
Yeah.
those types of things. So I think
Yeah.
it's going to be really fun. And those two together click so well. Her and Melissa Peterman, I'm
Peterman, yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
So
guys looking
interesting.
forward
It's on a
to?
Friday. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like a Friday in the fall is like the best time to put shows, and no one ever
I think
does. Like,
other
there's never
networks,
anything to
yeah,
watch.
Yeah.
CBS kills it with their Friday night lineup. I don't know why more networks haven't followed suit. NBC, good for you for jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
But
we love
ABC
Friday
doesn't,
TV.
yeah,
I
ABC,
know, remember TGI Fridays? Like
and
it
ABC
all the
does
good
nothing
shows were on
now.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think they held over the Rookie and Will Trent for January, which was kind of shocking for people. Put that on your Friday night lineup. I don't know. That's my
Yes.
opinion. But what are you guys looking forward to this week?
I'm so looking forward to the our Peacock's new teacup. It
Yes.
started yesterday.
Yes.
I love Scott Speedman since his Felicity days, and I've watched him in various movies, and he was on Grey's. I think this is his time to shine as a lead character. And I've never, at first, when I saw the preview, I thought it was a movie because you never really see a horror slash thriller as a full season,
No.
especially the same story.
Yeah.
So I really feel like for those that love the horror, like I do, it's going to really bring you in every week to come back and see what happens. But
I
it
actually
looks
found
really
it
freaky.
shocking. I found it shocking that they did weekly and didn't drop it all at once, to be honest with
Yeah, me too. I
you.
feel like if they did, I think people would have binged it because you
Yeah.
obviously want to know what's going on. But I think it's going to be really, really good, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, sadly, Canadian fans cannot tune in. So hopefully our
Oh, that sucks.
women's network tends to pick up the Peacock hits. I'm hoping they'll do that for us here, but
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
let us know. Well, you'll be our go-to for that. Jess,
Yeah,
what you looking
definitely.
forward to?
Finishing Outer Banks. I'm sure that will be
Ah,
done this week.
yes.
And also the new episodes of Love is Blind,
Yeah.
obviously. And then maybe not something coming next week, but Netflix has been, I believe it's Netflix, has been dropping their holiday kind of lineup.
Yeah.
So there's a couple movies I'm excited for with Chad Michael.
They're good for that.
Oh,
That's
yes,
for
of
sure.
course.
That's for
Yeah,
sure.
can't miss one of those, and especially holiday. I'm a Christmas girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, but TV, definitely Outer Banks. I want to finish that, especially you've hyped it up. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
you'll love it.
Yeah.
I think you'll
And
love
then
it.
Love is Blind, drama,
Yeah,
drama, drama, drama. I need some
that's
drama. I feel like
that's
my life
awesome.
is too boring. So
Yeah,
You gotta live vicariously through other people
hell
sometimes.
yeah.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, that's the week in TV. So we've got final seasons, lots of chaotic dramas going on. So please, as always, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, tell us what you're binging this week. I'm curious to know which Love is Blind couple you're rooting for or hate watching, which we tend to do too, which I do with 90 Day Fiance all the time. Even though I hate them so much, I have to keep watching to know what's going on. So follow us at Spoiler TV on Twitter, or sorry, X. Follow us at Spoiler TV on YouTube, Spoiler TV photos on Instagram. And like I said, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back next week with even more updates. Have a great week, everyone.
Hey,
Bye.
and if anyone has any questions or if they have, like you said, they want to let us know what their opinion is on certain characters in reality TV, let us know.
Yes, drop it in the comments and we'll be sure to
Yeah.
respond next week.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have-
definitely.
yeah, have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.